great relief. Perfect timing with the summer, right? So it's very invigorating to have the mask mandate removed. But I think also I'm personally still afraid. So going in public transit and where there's a large crowd, I think I'll safe bet just to keep on using the mask for good measures.
I think a lot of people are actually going to keep wearing it in certain circumstances. If I feel people are too tight, closely together, I'll probably feel more comfortable wearing it. But other than that, especially outdoors and in like bigger malls or such places, then I'll probably let it go. Yeah.
Mask mandates in most public spaces in Quebec has ended. Masks will still be mandatory in public transit, hospitals, clinics, CHSLDs, and for those who have tested positive for COVID and are out of their isolation period. I'm joined today by epidemiologist and cardiologist Dr. Christopher Labos. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So with mask mandates now dropping, what does this mean? Is this a real return to normal?
Well, it depends what you mean by normal. I mean, the situation is obviously improving in Quebec in terms of the number of hospitalizations going down. That being said, we've been on the downslope of waves before. The real question is, are we going to see a resurgence because of new variants? So while things are getting better now, that doesn't mean that they won't get worse in the future. Just because things are going down doesn't mean they won't go back up again.
And public health is calling the COVID-19 situation very encouraging. Does this mean that we may be turning a corner in terms of the sixth wave? Are things getting better, or is there fear that we may see a seventh in the fall?
Yes, that's entirely conceivable, especially when you're having uncontrolled spread of COVID in many other parts of the world. New variants could emerge and cause future waves at some point in the future. I mean, we've been in this situation before. There were very few COVID cases in the summer last year, and then we had a resurgence because of the Delta and then the Omicron variant. So we have to learn from the past and realize that while things may be okay now, we need to prepare for the future.
As of right now, masks are still mandatory in public transportation and hospitals. Do you think we may see the dropping of masks in those spaces?
I mean, we'll see, but frankly, I would be surprised if that does happen. I mean, just wearing masks in hospitals just makes so much sense. It's almost surprising that we weren't doing it before. And so, especially in settings like healthcare and in public transportation, I'd be very surprised if the masks go away. I think they're with us for good because they make a difference and they help limiting the transmission of diseases, not just COVID, but frankly, everything else too.
And what advice can you give to those who are immunocompromised or people who would like to keep the mask on?
I would keep doing it. Frankly, there are many parts of the world where wearing a mask in public, especially during cold and flu season, is commonplace. And I think it's going to become commonplace here. So if you're going to be, in public in an indoor setting with a bunch of other people, I would keep wearing the mask because COVID is still circulating and the flu is still circulating and many other diseases are still circulating.
Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Labos.
My pleasure. You take care.